right, we're going high tech. Cue up your SummerSlam to 2 hours and 4 minutes, and in the count of three, or 3, 2, 1, let's say 3, 2, 1, go, and then we're gonna go ahead and start the footage. All right, of SummerSlam '88. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, here it goes. I got an earpiece in so I can hear it. I don't know about you. I don't know how you're doing this. But we got the SummerSlam '88 logo, Madison Square Garden, New York, New York. All right, this is '88. Needless to say, it's in New York, Madison Square Garden, the very first SummerSlam. Got Gorilla Monsoon on commentary. And the bell's ringing. And Howard Finkel's in there, and he's saying it's the main event of SummerSlam. It's what they've been waiting for, he says. Get to see the audience in their little Hulk Hogan shirts, their Hulkamania shirts. Got a camera guy there floating around in the air. And of course, as we all remember, Jesse, the Body Ventura. He was the guest referee during the main event, and he's dressed in like I don't know what you call that, a leather tassel outfit with a pink bandana. Oh wait, that's not pink, it's more like a beige. I'm sorry, I'm slightly colorblind. And I wasn't paying attention to the screen that much. He's not wearing an earring. He looks pumped. You know, if you remember 10 years later, at SummerSlam 99, so I guess 11 years later, he's the guest referee again, and he's also the governor of Minnesota. And he does the triple threat with Stone Cold and Triple H and Mankind. I'm not going to get to that one this year because I'm only doing the first 11 SummerSlams, excuse me. You can see I got my cooler back there, by the way. I got my cooler. I'm ready to go. I got some drinks in there. I got the Ultimate Warrior and the Honky Tonk Man and the guy who's coming to the ring with Virgil, Ted DiBiase, excuse me. He's the $1 Million Man. And he's dressed exactly the same as that action figure there. And Andre's coming with him, and he's got the big boy with him. I don't have an Andre action figure. I could never find one. When I was a little boy, I could never find... Magically, one time at the Spencer's Gifts, I found a Ravishing Rick Rude, like years after this toy had come out. And it was quite the day, if I remember. I still got him. Maybe I'll bring him out next time. Ravishing Rick Rude. And Savage's music is actually hitting here, and they come down that familiar backstage walkway where Vince is usually standing with a piece of paper in the format, but he's not there this time. They got Elizabeth with them, as always, the Mega Powers. Macho Man's got his glistening, sparkly robe on, and Hogan's doing some pointing moves, and he's pointing at Andre, and he's saying, "You're going down, brother." And he's got the Mega Powers printed on his fanny, his bottom. And Savage's robe is beautiful. It says Mega Powers on the back. It's got like lightning bolts on it. It's got just a beautiful ruby red, sparkling colors. Hogan's glistening, shiny hot dog skin and his silk baby doll hair, as I've heard it described before. Really, this is the height, folks. This is when the WWF was. They couldn't go wrong, and this is one of the best stories. This is the best storyline that they did in the 1980s, and I think Vince and Pat Patterson, they all wrote it on the pool, and you got Savage with the belt there, so he's the champion. He's the champ. And he is just holding up that belt with pride. He kisses it. Is he kissing it goodbye? No, because it's a tag team match and that belt's not on the line. That doesn't show up until WrestleMania 5, okay? look at this. Jesse's laying down the law. Well, actually, I don't want to say look at this. If you're not watching this with me, that's okay. I mean, I think you can still get some type of enjoyment out of this. I'm not going to say look at this, watch this too many times. I got to make sure I don't do that because I want to make sure that my fans my dozens of fans, I want to make sure you can watch this along with me without having the actual picture. And I may throw up some like screenshots. Hopefully YouTube allows that. I tried to do this something similar with the WrestleMania 1 main event. Like I had a 13-inch CRT television playing the show, and it was so small, but YouTube still flagged it for copyright, and I don't know why they would do that because I didn't even have the sound on. But this time I think the setup is better, and it involves some interaction between me and all a dozen of the people watching this out there, and I think we're gonna have a good time. Yeah, the match is about to begin. They're trying to decide who's gonna start this thing. Andre is looking as beautiful as ever. What a handsome guy. Elizabeth is radiant. I always remember Gorilla just drooling all over Elizabeth in these things. He's just talking about it. Jesse this is when he tries to assert his authority, if I remember correctly. He starts moving the tag ropes to different corners. Like he's trying to big dog his authoritarianism power, even though he's very anti-authoritarianism. He's more like a libertarian type, if I remember right. I know he doesn't like Trump anymore, even though if you watch some of the old WWF footage, he's drooling all over him, but now he hates him. So that's always fun. And yeah, he's still adjusting those ropes. He's still moving them. I love tag ropes, by the way. Even in modern wrestling, they brought him back for the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression. They had disappeared for like over a decade. And then they finally brought him back, and I'm so glad that they did because I love watching apron work in tag team matches. This is one of my favorite things to do. If in a tag match, the formula is always similar, so I like to watch the guy on the outside, and I always know that they're a good psychological wrestler if they're holding on to that tag rope, okay? I always compliment the guys or the gal on the outside holding on to that tag rope, and I'm like, she's a tag team worker. Oh, there goes the bell. Okay, here we go. If you have notes, we're in the right spot if you heard a bell there, or right around this time, okay? Andre's starting with some chops. He's really smacking, got some headbutts going there. DiBiase's already in there, getting tagged in. He's got that $sign on the side of his trunks. He always does this. He always slaps his arms before they tie up. I love that. They slapping his arms. He wants Hogan though. He doesn't want Savage. He wants the big boy. He's got that laugh, the $1 Million Man. He can't even do it. It would hurt my throat. But Savage is saying, you want Hogan? You got him. Ooh, yeah. And here comes the Hulkster. And Hulkster's in there. He's hot dogging. Like the color of his skin. He's hot dogging. He's slapping his hands together. And he's saying, let's go, brother. I'm going to slap my arms too, brother. I'm going to snort my nose, brother. He's probably snorting something else backstage. What you gonna do? DiBiase goes for a kick, and we got the old-fashioned atomic drop as Savage and Hogan trade punches with DiBiase punching back and forth. DiBiase takes a flat back, as they like to say in wrestling terminology. Andre's over there. Look at his apron work. Is he holding on to that rope? Not really. He's talking to Bobby Heenan, and Hogan is just going to town on DiBiase. We got a tag here, and Savage jumps in the coolest way possible. He just hops over that rope. And we got a double thing, and then a double elbow drop. I don't know what happened to the apron or the ring mat. It's got some sort of, what is that? Oh, that's probably tassels from Savage's robe. It's hard to tell from here. I love Savage's boots, by the way. Yellow with the white stars on it. Hogan's got those bright yellow boots and those red knee pads. I like gear, too. If you're going to notice this about me, I like to look at wrestlers' wrestling gear. Like their boots, especially if they got shiny wrestling boots on. That really does it for me. So we got a tag here. Savage is back in. He's gonna do the old double axe while Hogan holds on to DiBiase in a full Nelson. He comes down. You know, got a knee to the throat. Look at Elizabeth. She is just, I'm sorry, I'm doing it, but Elizabeth is so radiant. And Gorilla is just like, he's obsessed with her. And I always was a little concerned. But he's just like a loving grandpa or something, you know. That's all it is. Got a kick out from DiBiase at 2. Hogan goes for an old-fashioned body slam. If there's one thing that Hogan can do, it's body slams and elbow drops. And now he's doing multiple elbow drops. This is the same move that almost killed Jerry Lawler, I think, when Dolph Ziggler did it to him years later. Andre's having a little trouble getting in there, but he's in. He's got Savage. He gives him the old headbutt. And you notice Andre, when he walks, he kind of stays near the ropes just in case he falls down, because he's not doing too good. Jesse is yelling at Liz, you know, just like telling her to get down off the apron because she was up there ready to fight Andre. She was getting ready to fight him, I think, because she's a tough one. And DiBiase and he's got a couple licks in before he goes in. So these guys, you know what I noticed? Every wrestler who weighs like over 500 pounds usually sits on a guy, even over 300, and Andre was doing just that in this match. He was sitting on Hogan, dropped his ample posterior down on the Hulkster a couple of times there, and he's got the old Andre's boots are like they look somehow smaller than Hogan's, but if I had to guess, since he's a giant, they're actually bigger than Hulk Hogan's boots. If I had to guess. And, God, you know, I love those matching yellow trunks of the Mega Powers with the Mega Powers written on them. You know, that shows they're a real team. That's another thing that I like to look out for in tag teams. Are they dressed alike? Are they color coordinated? Then yeah, then you're a tag team, okay? That's what it takes. Andre and DiBiase are both wearing black, so at the very least they're color coordinated. I think for solidarity's sake, maybe DiBiase should have wore one of those Tarzan singlets, you know, just to, but he'd look ridiculous. Could you imagine? Andre's doing like a deep tissue massage on Hogan here, like a chiropractic type of deal, and he's choking him. He's straight up choking him at this point. And he's got the singlet wrapped around Hogan's neck. Oh my goodness. And Gorilla just said, he's got a singlet wrapped around his neck. Oh, that's Vince. That's my Vince voice, sorry. Gorilla is like, I can't do him either. I can't concentrate. I got so much going on visually and auditorily. But I bet it's gangbusters for the video. Hogan. You know, you ever think Hogan looks kind of like Harry and the Hendersons? Let me show you here. He's right next to me at all times. Come here, bud. Come here. Check this out. Oh, shit. What you gonna do, brother, when Hulkamania runs wild on you? Alright. So we'll be good here. Where are you at? What are you looking? See, dropping fists and whatnot? That's what I'm doing. I think there's only about 10 minutes left, so. You know, they do a lot more rest holds back in the 1980s, you know, like they didn't do all, like, the jumping maneuvers, you know, where they, like, if you watch an AEW match, you know that to be a wrestler in the year 2026, you also have to be an acrobat, and you have to be, like, a super Olympic-style athlete. These guys back in these days, these were real athletes too, okay? This is what the time period, this was the popular style at the time. The big muscles, okay? Rest holds, like more of an athletic display of like real amateur style wrestling, and also just like lots of sweat. You know, like you'll watch the Hogan came out there, if you remember, excuse me, if you remember, I suck in a lot of air. I think that's why that always happens when I record these videos. I'm so sorry if that disgusts you and you find it repulsive. Personally, I would too, but that's just the way life goes sometimes. You have to see things and hear things that you don't want to see, okay? And that's just one of those things. As DiBiase on mine, he's still. Oh, we could have shot at Jesse Ventura's bottom there as he's sitting in front of DiBiase's headlock. He's like checking the arms, and Hogan in full. Hogan's shaking him at this point. He is like, he's jiggling. He's got the pecs jiggling, and he's ready. He's ready, folks. He is ready to get out of this thing. They got about 2 minutes of rest there because that headlock was so long. But this is how they built up excitement back then. Like, the audience is begging for it. They're like, come on, Hulkster, get out of that thing. And he finally starts shaking. And he's ready to try to go for that hot tag. But he had enough to, like, get out of the hold. He had enough energy. And he's looking at Savage. He's looking at his corner. And he's like, oh no, brother. Savage isn't there, dude. And then he finally gets this hot tag, and this is the formula that I was talking about earlier. The fresh guy will come in, and he'll just start cleaning house. Andre's not going to hop in to take any bumps because he's so big and like he can't move very well. So he's just going to... The hot tag is just Savage cleaning house with one guy, with DiBiase. But he really is doing it. And Savage loves those ropes. He loves doing moves off those ropes, either hopping to the outside or, whatever. He does those double axes. I love when they do big moves off the ropes back in the old days because all the camera flashes will go off. It really makes it seem important. Savage driving an elbow into DiBiase's head. If you ever get in a real fight, I think that using your elbows and forearms over your fists would probably save you a lot of hassle. So if I ever get in one, that's going to be my plan, is to just like smash people in the face with my elbow because it's pointy, especially mine because I'm scrawny. So if I get a pointy elbow in there and just smash it in their face or a forearm, that would be ideal. And Andre, he gets in there and he starts doing his stuff, shoulder blocks. And again, he starts using that ample posterior to really squish Savage in the corner. I think they call that the squisher. And he really drives it in there. And he sits on him again. He's like really sitting on him too. Savage is like, Andre, you gotta take it easy. Yeah, you're a little sweaty there. I don't like this. No, I had nothing there, but that's what he would sound like anyway. It's still going. I think we're getting close to the end here. Savage's hair, just judging from how it started looking like mine, like real frizzy, and beautiful, and then it ends here, and it looks like he just got out of the shower almost. Same with DiBiase, he had like that nice blow-dried hair, and now it's starting to look like it's been dunked a couple times, with some splash with some water, not completely soaked, but it's getting there. I love to watch the trajectory of sweat in wrestling matches. It's really something that I enjoy, along with their gear. Whoa, DiBiase almost did like a coffin drop type of deal. He was like, got up on the middle rope, and he just dropped blindly backwards. And Savage wasn't there. No water in the pool, as they say nowadays. And that hurt him, so that was a mistake. But yeah, I think DiBiase may have just invented the coffin drop. Right there off the middle rope. Doesn't do it as good as Darby does, but Darby Allin, but he did something similar to that. And I feel like Hogan's like, he's on fire here. He's getting ready. He's like he's almost getting in that hulked up zone because he's got rejuvenated sitting over there in the corner, and his hair is just stringy wet, and he's just like glistening. Like if we're talking about a roasted hot dog, he's almost ready to get off the burner there. He is just shining in the lights, and the audience is just going crazy for this. And I think we're going to see a finish here. I hope it's still lined up. If not, it's not a big deal because it was only a few seconds that I jacked up my my footage. Well, that's all right. Warts and all. It's the first time I'm doing it. Next time I'll be more careful. But that's all right. This isn't a technical masterpiece by any means. Ugh. Ow, my shoulder's starting to hurt. Hogan's doing a sleeper hold here, like his old buddy Brutus Beefcake. And we got Andre loves to pull hair. He loves to pull hair with those big, gigantic hands. And he just loves to grab them and smile menacingly as he does the headbutts at the same time. And Jesse does a count and got everybody out on the outside. And then this one, I remember when I was a little boy. I was in high school. And for some reason, our psychology teacher was like really into professional wrestling, and he actually showed footage of this moment that's coming up here in our psychology class to show how easy it is, I guess, to I don't know what the lesson was. Just showing how easy it is to distract an audience, especially an audience filled primarily with men. Like you got 5 dudes up there. And then Elizabeth just like pulls off the lower part of a dress and she's wearing like a 1950s bathing suit. Oh my God, this would be like just in a short 10 years later, you had Sable coming out there with like nothing but hands painted on her chest. But back here, it was like the silent film days where to get people going, the audience going, all you needed to do was rip off a little skirt and then have a little bathing suit on underneath. And Hogan and Savage are just like, yeah, it's my girl. Don't look at her too long, brother. And then Hogan's like, I wasn't looking at her, dude. I was looking at my watch. And then Savage loves those double axe handles. Heenan, the Weasel, gets a couple blows. We got some body slams coming up. And I think, Hogan literally has his boot on DiBiase's throat. That is illegal, and Jesse should have disqualified him right there. He was like stepping on his neck. Like, you remember that TV, and there's the finish there. I don't know if you got it, but I did. That TV movie where Joe from Facts of Life gets stepped on the neck in the 80s. Hogan was doing something just about as violent right there. And I just saw that iconic roof of Madison Square Garden as Savage was reaching to the heavens, pointing his finger. Like Sabu, you know, ooh, yeah, And then Hogan, of course, is the first person Liz jumps to. And I'm sure when Savage went back and watched this footage, he was like, whoa, brother. What are you doing? It's my woman. I keep her in the closet. Yeah, I keep her in the closet because I don't want other wrestlers looking at her. And now you're hugging her, covered in sweat? Oh, no. Whatever he said when he was watching it. And Elizabeth is clapping, and Hogan's doing the ear thing, and it's just a hell of a SummerSlam. What a SummerSlam! Whew, I really wish I didn't grab Harry there because I don't know how good this matches up, but maybe I can fix it in post. My shoulder. Gotta get a better, more comfortable position for 89. Ow. My producer's next to me. What a job. What a great introduction to SummerSlam. And we're gonna do the first 11 main events because it starts in 88. I want to do the first 10 years of SummerSlam. So we're gonna start in 88 and end in 98. So that actually ends up being 11 men. Because consider this basically SummerSlam 0. SummerSlam 1, technically. But when you do the anniversaries, it kind of gets confusing. I know Emily has some trouble trying to... one time I had to do a diagram to prove that... No, wait, that would... I think that... Because I'm stupid, too. So I whoa! Not that she's stupid. Okay, alright, I'm digging a hole here. I'm digging a hole. Love you, Emily. Love you every day. I'm the stupid one, alright? I just had to illustrate why it's confusing. That's what I was saying. Whew! Did I save it? I don't know. I'm the top pick. There's a pickle on my shirt there. Anyway, that was it. That was SummerSlam 88. Hope you enjoyed it. Hogan's got the skirt in his hand, by the way, and I think he's going to take that back to the hotel with him. I don't know what he's got in mind, but if I'm Savage, I'm worried. I am worried. Savage is going to take the belt and Elizabeth back to the hotel with him. So, I think he's got the better deal, personally. That's just me. He's the champion, and he's got the beautiful lady. And then they both toss Elizabeth up on the sweaty. Good thing she's wearing that bathing suit, because it's getting soaked. She is getting soaked up there from all the sweat, is what I'm saying. Not anything nefarious, like you might be thinking, but she is getting soaked by Savage and Hogan's bodily fluids coming out of their bodies. The sweat is what I'm talking about. Okay. Time to wrap this up. All right. And see you next year, SummerSlam 8. I'll see you next video for SummerSlam 89, which I believe is Hogan and Beefcake against Savage and the almighty Zeus in a steel cage. And then I think it was followed by, was this the one that was followed by No Holds Barred? The match in the movie? I can't remember. But, anyway, that's next time. Thanks for watching. Jeremy, Gorilla, and I never even heard who else was with Gorilla. Was it Superstar Graham? Signing off. Copyright 1988, Titan Sports Incorporated, SummerSlam 1988. But this is not copyrighted by them. This is my own thing. So don't worry about that. I'm gonna shut up now. See you next SummerSlam. SummerSlam 89.